So now we have Kyrie Irving, who shared the movie Hebrews to Negroes on his social media account. And now he's facing backlash from the Gentiles, those who say they're Jews and are not. And he told so-called Black America to wake up to their true nationality and heritage. Check this out.
An exchange with Nick Friedel the other night after the game. And look, if he keeps making a big thing out of the word promotion, that is promotion. If on your social media you say, boom, here's a link to this, that tells me, hey, you should watch this. Correct? He's got 17 million Instagram followers, another 5 million or so on Twitter. You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel?
So now this Gentile sits up here and points out the fact that Kyrie Irving has over 17 million followers on his social media account. Basically what he is saying is that Kyrie Irving has power to be able to reach more people, reach the masses, people of color, to let them know that you are the true children of Israel. That is your nationality, that is your heritage. And they want to keep our people quiet, and they want to keep us deceived. Now watch this next clip. How they use the modern day gatekeepers, the modern day house Negroes, the modern day bootlickers, the modern day black man who always told on the runaway slave that was trying to run away to be free. Check this out. Watch how Shaquille O'Neal and also Charles Barkley slander our beloved brother Kyrie Irving, slander their own kind on live television.
You're all over social media. Do you ever put something out there, Shaq, that does not represent something that you feel?
I was probably one of the first guys on Twitter. And when I realized the power it had, I knew I had to be very responsible. Followers, platform, whatever you call it, I knew I had to be responsible. I try to make people happy. I try to make people smile. My formula has always been the same: 60% to make you laugh, 30% to inspire you, and 10% whatever I'm selling. You have to be aware of what you're doing. And you have to be aware that sometimes when you put stuff out, not everybody's gonna like it. Some people are conscious, some people are not. I can tell he's not conscious, he doesn't really care what's going on. But us, I know that the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we gotta answer for what this idiot has done.
Now listen to these modern day house Negroes, these gatekeepers. Yes, master. Yes, master. We gotta be very careful with how we move, and we gotta be very careful with the things we say, even if it's the truth. We gotta be very careful with spreading and teaching our people the truth. That's your modern day house Negroes and gatekeepers. That's your yes masters. Kyrie Irving get called an idiot by a brother who looked just like him. These people have sold out for the money, man. They have sold out to the god Mammon. And notice they always use the house Negro to speak against the brother who's trying to get free. Kyrie Irving is trying to get free. Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, those are the house Negroes who's been given the silver spoon.
I think the NBA dropped the ball.
In what way?
I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion. You're gonna insult me, you have the right, but I have the right to say, no, you're not gonna take my $40 million and insult my religion. I think the NBA, they made a mistake. We have suspended people and fined people who have made homophobic slurs, and that was the right thing to do. I think if you insult the black community, you should be suspended or fined heavily, dependent. I saw they did the same thing to the kid in Minnesota this year when he made the gay slur. I think you should get suspended or fined. I think him acknowledging the Alex Jones thing should have happened with that too, because that dude's crazy. And I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot. And when you say, if I say, hey, I'm agreeing with this movie, this book, or whatever, I'm agreeing with it. I'm not gonna put, first of all, you know I don't do any social media, but when you're somebody as great as basketball like him, people gonna listen to you what you say. And there's some fringe people out there, but like I say, I blame the NBA. He should have been suspended.
Now you got this house Negro, Sambo Coonin, bootlicking, shoe shining, Charles Barkley sitting up here claiming and stating that Kyrie Irving should be suspended for telling the truth and for speaking the truth. This is your problem. These individuals, the people who look like us, all Israel is not of Israel. They have been paid to keep us silent. They have been paid to hide the truth. The millions of dollars, they worship that money. They have been paid as gatekeepers. And notice how Mass is the middleman between both of them. Pulling the strings, knowing that they're gonna say something to slander their brother who looked just like them. Then the gatekeeper, Charles Barkley, turns around and says that Adam is Jewish. And there's no way that Kyrie Irving should insult his religion. First off, nowhere in the biblical scrolls is the children of Israel or our heritage, our nationality mentioned as a religion. That's nowhere in the Torah. You won't find that nowhere in the Torah whatsoever, that our nationality and our heritage is labeled as a religion. Clear as day, this shows you no matter how much money you have, millions of dollars, that does not make you wise. Clearly shows you that Charles Barkley himself, Shaquille O'Neal, both of them are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Both of them still don't even know who they are. They don't know their nationality, their heritage, or anything. And what they're failing to realize is the same person who's playing the middleman, his ancestors has raped, robbed, and murdered us for everything that we had. When it comes down to traditions, our culture, our heritage, our customs, everything, and even our language have been robbed from us. And they're sitting up here agreeing with these anti-Semitic remarks when we can't be anti-Semitic, because anti-Semitic is an African origin, Asiatic, Afro-Asiatic origin. You go and do your research and you look into it. That's clear as day. But when you look at the masses, when you look at all these paid off house Negroes, this goes back to the plantation. So I also want y'all to notice that these Gentiles, those who say they are Jews and are not, the Gentiles, that's exactly who they are. Notice that they want the whole world to remember their Holocaust. When it comes to us, the true children of Israel, the true Jews, they want us to forget about our Holocaust that their ancestors have done to us. The murders of millions of our ancestors' children, mothers, uncles, fathers. Where's our hate crime bill? They have given the Asians, the Chinese, they have given them their hate crime bills. We don't have a hate crime bill. Where's Biden at? Why don't you sign us a hate crime bill against any white man or woman or child that calls us the N-word? We're continuing to face police brutality and racism every single day. Where's our hate crime bill? But y'all want to run around with this anti-Semitic garbage. So then you had the Gentiles who went to Kyrie Irving's game and sat courtside to protest against what he said, what they called basically anti-Semitic. The truth is anti-Semitic according to these Gentiles.
Durant 2 points away from moving up the all-time scorers list.
Who's he behind?
He's behind someone you know quite well, a friend of yours, a friend of ours.
BC!
Vince Carter.
So then you had the Gentiles who went to Kyrie Irving's game and sat courtside to protest against what he said, what they called basically anti-Semitic. The truth is anti-Semitic according to these Gentiles, right? But let me explain something to y'all. We know for a fact that the Gentiles and those who run around and claim to be Jewish, we know that you are not the children of Israel. We know that you are not the Most High's chosen people. We know this. We know that y'all didn't reside into the land of Israel until the 1900s. We know this for a fact. We know that the original land of Canaan, dark-skinned people dwelt there. We know this for a fact. There's even a book called Arthur Koestler, the 13 Tribe, right? And on the front page, it says, the startling new discovery about the true ancestry of the Jewish people. It will cause a stir, even in this book, and people who resided on the land even goes into the history to tell you and show you that these people are not the true Jews. Scientifically, they have also said that these people are Europeans and they have European DNA. Even according to the biblical scrolls that they claim to believe and follow, according to Genesis, Backlash chapter 10, verse 5. Even according to the scrolls, it says that they are Gentiles, the Isle of the Gentiles. And it breaks down to show you that they come from the Japheth, the line of Japheth. It shows you these things, okay? These are the only race of people on the face of the earth that rape, rob, and murder people for everything that they have, and then turn around and claim like it's theirs. You see what happened to the Native Americans over here in America with so-called Christopher Columbus, and y'all getting ready to go celebrate Thanksgiving, because that's what it is. Thanksgiving is Thanksgiving, the slaughter, the celebration of the slaughter of the Native Indians. Even what they did with the Native Indians that came over and stole their land, now they run around here and claim and think that this place is theirs. And it has been originally theirs. That is a lie. These people have a history of stealing. They have a history of robbing and murder. They have a history of it. So y'all can dismiss us with the great deception and the great lie that y'all are the children of Israel. Y'all ain't no children of Israel. It's about that time that we're going to continue to represent and stand firm on who we are as a nation of people and our nationality and our heritage. It's about that time. The world is awakening to the truth, and the truth shall make you free.